Hey folks, just a thought about oil and the price of oil at the moment. Apparently oil used to be $100 a barrel and now it's come right down to $30 a barrel, and it could even go lower than that. I mean, that's quite remarkable. When I think back to a post that I wrote on my blog where fuel was £1.35 a litre and we're down to about 97 pence a litre at the moment, that is quite a considerable drop. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist. He says the idea is that the OPEC companies, or the big producers, the Middle Eastern countries, are deliberately overproducing and bringing the price of oil down to stop the countries that are starting to do fracking, for example America primarily, but it is here in the UK. There's lots of talk about fracking very near where I live, and all the pros and indeed the cons about that. And his idea is that what the current oil producers will do is bring the price down and down and down and down, so fracking becomes uneconomically viable. The reason why fracking became viable is because the price of oil had gone up so much, it was worth making the effort to frack. But now the price has come down, that will discourage future fracking. Now I can hear a lot of you out there who are anti-fracking saying, yes, great, that's a smashing thing. And the jury is still out on fracking for me personally. I can see the financial advantages for any area that has frackable oil in it, but I can also see the environmental problems that it causes. There's still a lot of debate as to how much is true and how much is hype, but we don't know, and I think it's something that we're rushing into perhaps. I don't object to the idea of fracking, but I think that we've still got a lot to learn, and we've jumped in with both feet when we've not really worked everything out yet. Anyway, that's beside the point. So the idea is that the Middle Eastern countries produce a lot of oil. It stops making it economically viable for countries like America and the UK to take up fracking. We close down our fracking operations, and then they start ramping the price of oil back up again, which does make some sense. But of course, when they start ramping the price of oil back up again, they'll start fracking again. So I don't quite see exactly how that works as a great big conspiracy theory. The other thing that he suggested then when I mentioned this was that the Middle Eastern oil companies will then buy out the fracking companies, so they own all the oil, which would be a concern, wouldn't it? But this all starts to become slightly irrelevant when you think about the bigger picture. The fact of the matter is, it's nice to have cheap oil and it's nice to have cheap petrol to put in my bike, but it's not solving any real environmental issues. Alright, fracking causes some localised environmental issues, but the real global issue is that we're still burning dead dinosaurs at an alarming rate. I wonder if, people like Shell and BP keep on espousing their green credentials by how much they're investing in alternative sources of energy and stuff like that, but the cynical part of me says, it's fluff to make you look fluffy. I don't really get the feeling that a multi-billion pound business is actually making any effort when they put a couple of £1 million into some random electric motor project or something. No, I saw a programme the other day about batteries and how we need to improve how well our batteries work to make environmental systems work. I think batteries and new technologies are going to be the real game changer. Now again, if you believe the conspiracies, of course there are lots of very environmentally friendly technologies out there, but of course the big oil companies buy them up and make them disappear. I don't know if I believe that or not. It's one of those things, I've never really seen evidence to completely prove that this is what the big companies do. But the cynic in me would not be too surprised if it did happen. Difficult, very difficult. Anyway, those are my brief thoughts on the matter for the moment.